Play.
You see David Wagner moving forward.
Get used to it. Get used to it. We will be seeing a lot of that today. And Andy checking David's hands out early and getting a clean response.
David Wagner, this is an opportunity. His singles run this year didn't quite go as expected.
Yeah, came up against Lapthorne in the opening round of round robin. It was Andy that toughed him out there. And then it was Sam yesterday that, again, I think maybe having gotten the first match against Dylan out of the way, losing Dylan, maybe gaining a little confidence in
15 all.
Went out and beat David yesterday and then followed it up with a really convincing straight set victory over Andy Lapthorne today in the singles to complete the round robin and set up the final between Alcott and himself. And as you had mentioned,
15,
got
30.
a righty-lefty matchup on both sides of the court. Schroder lefty, Lapthorne a lefty. So a lot of interesting dynamics going with that today. Alcott, Wagner sporting the Nike gear, both sponsored athletes by Nike.
And a double fault there. Two great chances to open the match. And
15-40.
That the team of Schroder and Wagner are receiving with the forehands in the middle. That's how they're going to start.
Yeah, not wanting to leave that be an easy option for Lapthorne and Alcott, forcing them to the outer parts of the court. Shoring up that middle, which is oftentimes a nice choice.
Game.
Error off the
Schroder,
racket.
Wagner.
Lapthorne. And Schroder and
First
Wagner
game.
out to the early advantage. 1-love. Lapthorne had trouble finding his rhythm in the singles match earlier against Schroder. He got to a quick 2-love lead, and it looked like Schroder's nerves might have been getting the best of him on Louis Armstrong Stadium. And then the match just turned on a dime, and Schroder rattled off 10 straight games. And Lapthorne
Sam Schroder
sort of got off the rails. He couldn't find the court for a while and started coming in more, trying to end points quicker, which is, you've told me, not exactly his MO normally.
No, that's not probably his strength. So for him to have to go to that as a plan B, you know, was not going to favor him. Typically, he likes to spend a lot of time looping things up from that, you know, with that lefty spin and setting up points and using his mobility skills. So the fact that he went to that strategy meant that he was in trouble, and he felt like he had to do something dramatically different. And wow, to hear Sammy had reeled off 10 straight is remarkable. And he didn't like that lefty-to-lefty matchup.
15 all.
Righties that don't like lefties. Maybe it's lefties that don't like lefties.
Oh, no, that is, no, I will say that as a left-hander myself.
Oh, you are?
Oh, I dislike seeing a lefty on the other side of the court as much as any righty. Probably just like seeing me.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, that's right.
Everything's backwards.
Honestly, right? Nice job there by Alcott, right, to follow his big forehand
15, 30
ball. Sam just off the mark there and getting that.
As I mentioned, Alcott and Lapthorne, defending champions here at the U.S. Open. There's a new kid on the block. His name is Sam Schroder. And he's got a big forehand. He's
30 all.
No hesitation there. You know, that's a good sign. You see a young kid like that just stepping up, knowing, hey, I'm here to play, and you're going to have to deal with me, fellas. It's a good sign early. No hesitation from Sam. Looks like he's comfortable and totally believes that he belongs here on this court, which I think he does.
I got to think his performance earlier today has to help his confidence
30,
coming
40.
into this doubles match, having already won a match against one of his opponents who's ranked #2 in the world in Andy Lapthorne.
Well, he took out the 2 and the 3 here. The 2 and 3 in the world in beating Lapthorne and Wagner. And he's hunting those guys down. He comes in at #4 in the world, and he is trying to close that gap and get himself into that top 3. So he's chasing it. He's hungry.
I guess he probably should enter that top 3 after a finals appearance here at the Open.
I think he's going to need to win it. If he wins the whole thing, I think that might put him over the top. I think by just being a finalist might leave him a little bit short. But it certainly starts to get close the gap. Because he kept not here last year, so any points that he tacks on, 100%. He's having a big number. This is a perfect lineup right here.
Oh, at that time, it's Lapthorne who outlasts
Alcott.
Schroder
Lapthorne.
beforehand.
Maybe a little relief.
One game all
that
for 7.
right?
That's right. He wasn't getting the best of those exchanges in singles. You could see him doing everything he could to keep the ball away from Wagner up front.
Andy
Yeah,
Lapthorne.
Andy can be a streaky player. I mean, when he's on and things are going well, you see he really thrives on playing off the emotions. And when it's good, he's strong and tough to beat like he was here last year. He was the defending singles champion. But when it goes south for him, he has a tough time reeling it in sometimes.
Love 50.
Apparently, it sounds like that was the case in his match with Schroder this morning.
It's going to be
Love
interesting to
30.
see and hear the communication between Schroder and Wagner. I imagine Wagner is going to take the lead, maybe, as the more experienced player.
I would think so. I think he will, have talked about, hey, Sam, here's how I think, you could provide the best role for our team. David's a little more limited. Sam's got a lot more mobility. David is exceptional. And so he's going to be like, listen,
Love 40.
tee off, swing out, get good targets, stay on the high percentage cross courts, keep the ball in front of me, and if I get my hands on it, I'll take care of some business for you. And if Sam just plays his role, David will do his job. Wagner there.
15-40.
Alcott got the ball down hard on the wheels of Wagner. Just punching that one long. Got a battle of the hat styles. 2 guys going on the backwards and 2 on the front. Old school. Ill-advised attack of Wagner there
Game.
by Lapthorne.
Schroder Wagner.
Unfortunate collision with the linesman there.
Sorry about that.
Schroder Wagner lead 2-1. David Wagner to serve.
Oh, look at the power on the backhand from Dylan Alcott.
Love
Tough
15.
1-2 punch, forehand, big return. Sam responds. Dylan right there. Follows it in and hammers away on the backhand is right.
Oh, I see your backhand winner, and I raise you an angled backhand winner.
15-0.
Yeah, Andy not doing enough with that volley. Just kind of pushed it back. Right there. Really didn't do much with it. And then opened up the court. Dylan having to protect against a lot of options for Sam. And Sam choosing option 1 on the menu. It's like, again?
In the line of fire.
15-30.
What'd I do to piss you guys
That's
off?
all right. Can somebody please build something around me to protect me here?
Like some Goldie pads.
Net.
Strap on the
First
pads.
service.
Yeah, throw up some plexiglass.
Alcott attempting
30
to go
all.
over initially. Not getting the job done. Smile by Wagner saying he might have got away with one there. Take it.
Let's see if they can take advantage. 30 all. Well, a great look at the speed of the young Sam Schroder on that point.
He is fast.
40-30.
He is really fast. Spent some time with him years ago at a tournament over in France. It's the premier junior tournament in the world, the Lapthorne, and that's where we hold the junior masters each year as well. So the top juniors play a year-end event. Sam was there a couple years. I got to see him firsthand about how fast he is. Share workouts with the players prior to the tournament starting.
And an error off the racket of Alcott, and a hold for 3-1 for Schroder and Wagner.
Schroder Wagner lead,
Yeah, they
3
look great
games to
together.
1.
I mean, again, I think that
Set.
it's a really nice complementary team. They have defined roles, really easy to figure that out. It wasn't like who's going to do what. It was pretty determined, and they're both executing exceptionally well. Where are we going here?
Don't forget USOpen.org is your online home for point-by-point live scoring, highlights, real-time stats,
15
draws.
love.
Visit the official tournament site at USOpen.org.
Cut says, I know how to handle slowing you down. Just not give you a ball to hit. 2 big serves in a row there.
30 love.
That's Coach Gooding looking on. Alcott took out Schroder in round robin play. They'll have another matchup again in the final.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a different Sam Schroder. You know, I mean, that's one of the unique aspects and dynamics of the round robin format is that once you play somebody, it's not meaning you won't play him again. You know, in the same tournament here.
30-15.
2 more wins under his belt, 2 more matches under his belt, confidence building, and he's just played Alcott recently to kind of know what to expect from him. And I would think that that is going to be a very interesting match tomorrow. So, play.
Just too much power from Alcott.
40-15.
Alcott, of all 4 of these players, seems to be able to generate the most power without any speed coming at him.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's just a flick and really gets a lot of racket speed there. Gets great extension. Kind of has long arms, actually. And yeah, you're right. He does often play a pace ball. He's able to get after it.
And Alcott,
Alcott holds, but it's Schroder and Wagner with the 3-2 lead.
Schroder Wagner lead, 3 games
Midway
to
through
2.
set number 1. Sam Schroder, 20 years old, from the Netherlands, turns 21 in a couple of weeks, playing in his first U.S. Open. Into his first U.S. Open singles final since the doubles championship. Perfectly placed from David Wagner of the United States.
Yeah, bad choice there by Dylan, you know, to give David a good look while Andy was already up in the court. And really no chance for Andy to do anything with that. It's almost back turned. Dylan's got to take that ball back to Schroder and give Andy a chance to come out of that cycle right there and face up. Make that adjustment.
30 love.
Back in 2018 as an 18-year-old that Sam Schroder announced his presence in his first ITF 1 title, beating David Wagner, then the #1 player in the world, along the way. So Wagner knows pretty much what he's getting in a doubles partner here.
Oh yeah, I think he's fully aware.
40
of
love.
the rest of this division. All these guys are now fully aware, and there's good news and there's bad news. And the good news is there's young guns on the horizon. Another one of them is out of the Netherlands as well. Niels Vink is another young quad who's just behind Sam in the rankings, and he's younger than Sam. And so those guys have a really bright future.
Game.
In this division.
Schroder Wagner.
They are the new blood.
Love and more joy
Schroder
for the
Wagner
Netherlands
leads 4 games to
wheelchair
2 for
tennis earlier today with a championship in women's wheelchair singles.
Never a lack of joy in the wheelchair world of tennis for the Netherlands. You know, they have had, especially on the women's side, they have had kind of a stranglehold on the sport almost from its inception. You know, it's just they have the right formula there, they have the right culture, they have, you know, just so many things going for them.
15 love.
It just breeds success. You know, one lady comes up and looks at the ones that are above them and have modeled the way, and they get on board. It's just been a steady parade and succession of Dutch champions. Of course, they have
15
the
all.
greatest of all time, Esther Vergeer, who is an unquestioned great of all time. Wheelchair tennis, and really just across the sporting world. The second longest individual winning streak of all time in any sport ever. The badminton player
30,
has a
15.
longer consecutive win streak than Esther Vergeer.
Christina de Groot earlier today winning the women's wheelchair title.
Yep, straight set victory over Yui Kamiji, world number 2. 3 in a row for Dita here in New York.
Really strong start for Schroder and Wagner right now in this wheelchair
30
quad
all.
doubles final, leading 4-2 and 30 all now. Something about
Boys!
40-30.
There's the commentary before.
Keep talking.
Fully expected. Dylan Alcott.
Game.
lined up.
Alcott, Lapthorne.
But Schroder
New
couldn't
ball.
get it to fall. So Alcott and Lapthorne hold.
Schroder Wagner lead 4
Schroder
games
and
to
Wagner
3.
still lead
First
3-2.
set.
Really good match here.
4-3,
first set.
pardon.
Yep,
Yeah.
4-3. Good start to this match.
We are with David Wagner serving up 4-3 first set. It sure seems like most of the top players started
15
playing
love.
wheelchair tennis at a very early age. They were born with a condition that put them in this position. Wagner, closer to your situation, where he was into his 20s when he had an accident on the beach, suffered a broken neck.
Yeah, David was already an established young athlete. You know, played
30
basketball,
love.
played some tennis. You know, was kind of on his way to life as we all know it, right? Had that accident, and kind of had to find his way in the adaptive sports world, and it was wheelchair tennis that he happened upon, got introduced to after playing some table tennis. Just subbed out the word table, put in the word
30,
wheelchair.
15.
The rest has kind of been history from that point on. I mean, once he got on the scene and really established himself as this is what he wanted to do. Yeah, there had been no stopping him, and he's been at the top of this division and game for really almost 20 years. Been impressive. And again, that's how you rack up the numbers that he has.
40-15.
Now points for a 5-3 lead for the team of Wagner and Schroder. That's just a smart play. It's not about power, it's about placement when it comes to the 46-year-old.
Nobody smarter in that
Schroder,
department.
Wagner lead, 5
knowing
games
what
to
to do
3.
with shots. Great shot of Nick Taylor, longtime partner and triple gold medalist as well with David Wagner in the Paralympics that you referenced earlier from 04, 08, and 12. And if you haven't seen Nick Taylor play tennis before, he is something. Another American tennis playing legend right there. Sam.
Yeah.
Lord.
He gets so much action on that backhand.
Dylan.
Left 15.
I gotta play that guy tomorrow. Not good. Yeah, when Sam's got a little time to line it up, man.
And by the way, that would have been good on the singles court. That's how much action he had on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was respect, I think.
Oh, Dylan. Yep. Wanted to test David. I'm
Left
not sure
30.
why. I mean, it's not like he doesn't have an established, you know, long-standing history of having phenomenal hands. I don't know what he's thinking. Dave's a foot from the net.
Look at that list of past champions. The names Wagner and Taylor appear over and over and over again.
Oh, what a run they've had.
Oh, goodness.
Turning in favor there. Oh, God, Nike.
15-30.
There was a little venom on that backhand. Goodness me. Again, looking to test Wagner.
15-40.
And now 2 set points for Schroder and Wagner.
Almost a level of stubbornness there. And listen, it's a simple mathematical equation. If you're winning more than you're not when you go in that direction, keep it up. But you're not, so why stay with it?
30
Serve there by Alcott to get one of those break and set points erased. He's got some work to do.
That is going to sail long.
We didn't need to wait for that one to come down as soon as
Schroder,
that
Wagner.
racket.
6
Andy
games to
let us
3.
know how that one was going to end up.
Second set. Schroder to serve.
I think these
15-11.
two down at the bottom of the screen here are kind of scrambling a little bit right now, wondering, thinking, if the kid doesn't go away, I mean, they know what they're going to get in David. These guys have seen David a million times, but you got to rely on Sam going away. And right now, he's giving no indications that that's what he plans to do.
Schroder.
15-0.
What I find funny is that David Wagner doesn't say yours. He just says Sam.
Yes.
Sam.
Rachel, might push that chair, yeah?
Yeah, but you know, David, you know, in that David and Nick partnership, all those years that they were so successful and still do play together and are still successful, they have always been exceptional in that communication department. And even when it seems to be very
15-30.
Yeah, of course it's mine. I mean, like, you don't need to tell me. They still go through the routines, and they leave no stone unturned. And I think that's a good lesson for David to teach young Sam, that communication piece of doubles is invaluable. There's a couple of the errors that Alcott and Lapthorne need from Schroder in order to kind of get this back in their side of the ledger, but Sam should keep on swinging. Shouldn't back off. David should be telling him that.
It's 30-40.
So vocal between those points, and he's really trying to get himself and Andy Lapthorne all fired up to really get off to a hot start here in set number 2.
Yeah, and I think he also uses that as a little bit of see if that can drift across the net just somehow miraculously like a virus and maybe infect Sam or David. I don't think David's going to be phased, but he doesn't know if Sam's going to respond to stuff like that. He'll be rattled. Great job there by Sam, shoring it up, staying high percentage.
That's what we like. Just keep working the chair. Great job.
Looking unfazed. About the only time that I've seen Sam a little vulnerable, and again, part of it's got to do with the adaptive way he has his racket set up. If he's rushed, that's when he struggles to get balls over with some spin for control. When he's got time and he can get that racket in the proper position, no issues whatsoever. Beautiful clean stroke off both sides. So, see if the team of Alcott and Lapthorne can press him a little bit and take away that time. Something down the line for a winner against Osaka on Ash here. Amazing. It's fun to break a circle.
Advantage Lapthorne.
Kind of a critical game for momentum here in this opening game of the second set. Both teams looking to establish here in the second.
You got this, brother. You got this.
Schroder, Wagner would like to keep the numbers on their side. Lapthorne, Alcott would definitely like to get on the board earlier.
A little bit too much on that drop.
Alcott, Lapthorne.
Lapthorne's all over.
First game.
Yeah, I think he left it
set.
just, I mean, in good hands, but he left it too center cut. If he'd have gone a little bit more, could have dropped it with a little more angle, he could have maybe forced Andy out of position. And then straight with that one, no issues.
So the second set opens similar to the first with a breakup serve. We had 3 straight breaks to open the first set, and that's when Schroder and Wagner started taking over after that.
Yeah, once they got warmed up and got going a little bit, they found the rhythm. It's now up to Alcott and Lapthorne to break that rhythm or create some of their own. First game certainly helps, but
Left 15.
forced. Once again, trying to go at Wagner, which he's been doing time after time today, and I would say maybe winning 25% of those points, not in his favor. He had good intentions.
15-0.
David lets that one go. I don't think Sam tracks it down anyway. So, a nice shot by Andy Lapthorne.
From Alcott.
He can cover some ground out there for sure.
30-15.
That's a learning thing for Schroder. He went there once. Wise to go away from that.
That's well done from Alcott.
Yeah, great position.
40,
plenty of
15.
time to see that, even though it was well struck by Schroder. Plenty of time for Alcott to read that and go back strong at him. Sam's probably not the comfortable one up in that. Certainly hasn't had a lot of reps up there today.
Game. Alcott, Lapthorne.
Alcott, Lapthorne coming out with
Alcott,
a little more
Lapthorne
gusto
leads.
here in the second
Second
set. Takes
set.
the first two games, and remember, this is best of three, but the third set, should Alcott and Lapthorne take the second, will be contested via match tiebreak, first to 10.
Yeah, definitely some momentum swing going on right now. We'll see how long it continues and if they can really extend, or if Schroder and Wagner can kind of tighten it up a little bit and get on the board here in the second set early.
Love.
One of the things as a doubles partner Dylan Alcott does well with whomever he's playing with is he does chirp him up good. He is always about giving him positive reinforcement. You seldom see him get down to his partner.
15-0.
Beautiful from Schroder.
Yeah, just received that ball, kind of redirected
30,
it
15.
there.
Overcooked.
40,
By
15.
Alcott. He can do so much damage with that forehand, but he's made a great number of unforced errors off that wing today, too.
Yeah, he's trying to, you know, he's trying to do something in a point where there's really nowhere to go. I mean, Sam's lined up right in front of him. He doesn't have an angle, so he is doing a nice job of avoiding David there. But you know, just put that ball solidly in play and wait for a better opportunity to unleash the big forehand. He can maybe actually finish up a point. It's an ill-advised, overplayed forehand by Alcott right there. Schroder, chance to get out of the board here.
Forty, 30.
Big forehand by Alcott, forcing the error, getting this thing back to deuce after a couple of chances for Schroder. Wagner to get on the board, now erased. Having some work to do. Big game for Alcott. Lapthorne, I'm thinking, will come for Billie here in a second.
Cuts it off and earns a break chance.
Advantage Lapthorne
for a 3-love lead in the second.
Yeah, nothing Wagner can do about that one.
That's really distracting.
Yeah. We can't play now. We've got to go on.
Chair umpire Rod Smith of the United States.
I don't know what he was referencing exactly, but I do know that there's times when Alcott goes forward in the court when somebody's getting ready to hit round strokes. I'll see him put his racket up and put it up in front before the person has struck the ball on the other side of the court, which I think by a lot of standards could be called a hindrance. That's what Sam was referencing. Or just some of the vocalization that Dylan has that maybe is considered a hindrance to the balls on the other side of the court.
Net for service. Advantage Lapthorne.
Schroder. Didn't see much of that today, and another chance to break.
Yeah, he came out steady as a rock. He's starting to kind of produce a few too many unforceds.
Oh, Alcott had that lined up, but to tell you the truth, Wagner was waiting on it.
Right there. I mean, David, you know, the one thing David will never be is out of position. He knows that he's got help across, and that if Dylan chooses to go there, then Sam's got him. So he's going to absolutely take this line option away. And if, you know, he gets a hand on that, that's a nasty angle. He's going to have to deal with it. Sam got caught going the wrong direction. And again, that
advantage Lapthorne.
David pops that volley real fast. Sam's already going in that direction.
Hey, push him, mate. Good tennis, yeah?
An option. So David crosses over there. Kind of Sam's wondering where to go. He's a little bit lost. And that was something with the partnership that they'd work out.
Mr. Wagner challenging the call. Right baseline. Ball was called in.
Back to deuce or the break. Wagner seems pretty certain that that ball was deep. It was called in. It is indeed long, so deuce.
Might be the oldest guy on the court, but the eyes are still sharp like a hawk.
He might have obstructed the linesman a little bit just in his positioning.
Yeah, that's true. It does happen with the silhouette of the chair.
That'll stay in.
Neither one of those guys doing as much as they should have.
Advantage Lapthorne.
David's got to do more with that shot right there. Not that one so much. Andy gets the crack.
It's that one right here.
Right there, yeah. David's got to stick that one right in Andy's chest or feet or somewhere.
Saw the wry smile from Lapthorne. He knows he kind of got a little bit of help. Break point again.
Alcott, Lapthorne.
Schroder can't get to it, and there is the
Alcott,
break of
Lapthorne
serve.
lead,
Longest
3 games
game
to
of the
love.
match by a
Second
long
set.
shot.
First set, Schroder, Wagner.
And it's 3-love
push
to the
that
number
chair.
1 seeds. Momentum has completely shifted to the team of Alcott and Lapthorne. It's Dylan Alcott, the number 1 player in the world in singles and doubles, serving up 3-love in the second.
Good position to be in here to extend this set. Lead. Good serve.
Nice, Dave.
Too good. And you heard Alcott said nice, Dave. He's not wrong.
No, exactly. Once again, showing off the trademark. Look at that. Right into the bench.
Love 30. Love 40.
Got it. Push your chair.
Just like that on the service game, it's triple break point.
Keep moving your chair.
You can hear Alcott really talking up his partner here.
Keep moving the chair.
That's right.
Bang. Oh yeah.
Too easy.
Seems to me that Schroder and Wagner should direct most of their shots
Alcott, Lapthorne
in the
lead.
direction
3
of
games to
Lapthorne
1.
at
Second
this
set.
point.
Well, yeah, he certainly doesn't have the firepower that Alcott has, and so they really should be able to be a little bit more relaxed and comfortable knowing that Andy won't be able to hurt him as much. You know, he'll be able to hit some decent neutral balls, but eventually he'll either make a mistake or leave something a little short, which David will pick off. So, yeah, it would be a strategy I think that they could employ and benefit from.
Stay connected to the U.S. Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Join the conversation with the hashtag US Open.
Oh no.
That's a good move forward from Sam Schroder.
15 love.
And a smart play, not trying to do too much, just go really aggressive right at the wheels. Tough for anybody to dig that one out. High percentage play there by Schroder.
Serve. 30 love.
Good start here with the Schroder service game with a chance to kind of get right back in this set after an early 3-love hold.
Good.
40 love.
Certainly David and Sam know, and Sam experienced it today, David's experienced it for years, that if you can get Andy off his rails, good things will happen on your side of the court. Right now, Andy seems a little tentative, a little bit distracted, a little bit off.
(40-15).
To change the dynamic a little bit in this second set, it was all Alcott and Lapthorne. Wagner can get it to 3-2.
got my good push.
40-30.
Very comfortable shot for Dylan. He likes that shot.
So does his camp.
Yeah.
So you got this set?
Zazarenko puts up a 5-1 lead on Ash. Holy cow, just to keep an eye on all things tennis here at the center. That is something. Anybody who saw that coming?
No. Even if you thought Vika was going to win this, expected to get out such a fast lead in the first. As good as David's hands are,
Yeah.
that might have been a little too much to handle.
A little too much to ask there. He knows. He's like, yeah, can't do much with that.
Like pushing the chair, man. It's difficult, yeah.
Got a little extended there. Might have been wise to let that one go, but in the moment, it's an easy decision to think, I got to get this. Again, too easy for Wagner.
And
Lay
Schroder.
that up there like that. He's got angles. He's got everything available to him. He's done it a million times before. Easy day at the office there for David Wagner.
Just out of the reach of the 46-year-old. Back to deuce.
Yeah, I think Sam was attempting to go over. Didn't clear the Lapthorne line.
Advantage Lapthorne.
Second double fault of the match for the Schroder Wagner team. It's really not an issue. Kind of comes in an opportune time.
Game. Alcott, Lapthorne.
So Alcott and Lapthorne.
Alcott,
Bring
Lapthorne
her out
lead.
to a
4 games to 1.
lead
Second
in
set.
set number 2.
First set, Schroder, Wagner.
Dylan Alcott coaching his partner up a little bit. Daniil Lapthorne on the changeover, giving him some good words of advice and encouragement. Keep moving forward and being aggressive.
Yeah, I think that is absolutely, and that's sound advice. I mean, when Andy gets a little tentative or a little mopey, when he's pushing and moving and playing aggressive tennis, he's really tough and a great partner.
15 left.
Smart by Alcott to continue to pump his partner up.
Alcott and Lapthorne, as we mentioned, are the defending champions. Lapthorne is going for his 4th straight U.S. Open doubles championship, winning in 2018 and 2017 with David Wagner.
Right, yeah, they had a good partnership for a couple of years there. And Andy is typically a very complimentary doubles player to whoever he's with. He's got some good mobility, but he chooses to use it. Oftentimes really can set things up. He did a nice job of setting David up in those years.
We've seen that backhand
15 all.
from Schroder. A little less angle, but still enough to get the job done.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, Dylan just a bit too centered. Unable to chase it down.
Oh, that's such a smart veteran play.
15-30.
Kind of like a no-look pass, like a no-look pass right there, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, where he was on the court, you thought he would have gone the short angle the other way. I'm sure everybody was thinking that. Yeah, you're right. Just smart stuff.
Yeah.
30 all.
Go, Mike.
Ball from Schroder there, forcing the error.
30-40.
Doesn't have to hit a winner
Daniil,
every time.
good
Just needs
job,
to be
mate.
strong, consistent. Doing his job.
Again, David Wagner with the hands.
Game, Schroder, Wagner.
Schroder and Wagner.
Alcott, Lapthorne lead.
Cut it
Games
to 4-2.
2, second set.
The defending champ.
Yeah, not out of this one yet. Not out of a chance to go straights, but got work to do. Alcott and Lapthorne need to continue to press, continue to be aggressive.
Hit that upper.
15 love.
Come on. That's the one you want, yeah? You got it?
This game becomes massive right now. It's the old cliche about the 7th game of a set.
I mean, it is cliche, but it is.
It's true here.
It is in practically every tennis match I've ever watched or been a part of. Somehow, some way, the formula comes out that it's important. The reason why the cliches are
30
right?
love.
There is some basis in truth in a lot of them.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Sam Schroder is
30-15.
one tired 20-year-old after this match.
It's the beauty of being 20, though. You know, you don't get as tired as.
Your 46-year-old partner, Mike?
Yeah, maybe. But I'll tell you what. I mean, I can't remember the last time David missed one at net. I mean, he's been really good up there today, so he deserves a little break on one error up there. Certainly don't remember missing one at net.
40-15.
Try job. Listen by no matter. Yeah?
Game, Schroder, Wagner.
have a momentum
New
swing
balls,
here.
please. Alcott, Lapthorne lead, 4-3, second set.
Sail long. And sometimes the way that Wagner
Left
says
to
Sam, it almost sounds like a call for help. Sam, I can't get it. You got to go.
You know, I think there is a little bit of a question. There is always that, you know, and again, and these guys haven't played together. It doesn't look like it, but, you know, I think with a normal partnership, you know your partner's there. But this one, he's kind of going to have that little hint of question in his voice.
That's what it sounds like. That's too good. And he left one down the line for a clean winner. It's 15 all.
You know, but that happens, and what I'm seeing is I'm not seeing the positive reaction you should get from a player like that. I mean, in a moment where that should pump him up, and you should see a reaction, and you can see him giving energy to his partner. He's been just taking energy from his partner all day, forcing Dylan to have to pump him
30-15.
He's got to give a little back sometimes. It's a two-way street.
That's a great observation. Andy was off his game in the singles earlier today, losing in straight sets to Schroder.
Mr. Wagner challenged the call, left service line.
His team needs.
Ball was called
Lapthorne's
in.
been probably in the worst form of the four during this match, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. You know, coming in and out, having a few moments, then going away. It's good.
40-15.
Yeah, it just hasn't really been level and steady throughout.
And here come a couple of points for 5-3.
Yeah, still got a good crack at it. He's been serving well in this game. Again, and heard Alcott
40-30.
on Lapthorne a good portion
Schroder,
of the game.
Wagner with
Get on the
two
wheels,
challenges
move
remaining.
the chair. And that's just an example of Andy not moving the chair right there. So using that air sideways.
Oh, he just can't get it to get over. And
Alcott,
that
Lapthorne.
is a game for 5-3 now in the
Alcott,
second
Lapthorne
set.
lead,
That's
5
a big
games
one.
to 3.
It's a big one
Second
for
set.
Alcott and Lapthorne there to kind of give him a little space, a little breathing room now, and for them, hopefully close out this set and send it to the breaker. Schroder and Wagner have other intentions.
Fifteen love.
Good
30
hands
love.
again from Wagner.
Yep, once again creating a little havoc, getting both Alcott and Lapthorne on the chase. Neither one of them coming up with the goods.
40
scoring
love.
point. I think Alcott might have gotten away with one, having tested Wagner again at the net. David not quite creating the angle, but in the end, it's the Alcott error anyway. Service game for Schroder.
Seen a whole lot of love holes, but we got one there.
Schroder Wagner.
Alcott and Lapthorne will serve for the second set. The pressure is on.
Schroder Wagner. Thank you.
Lapthorne serving at 5-4. Force a match tiebreak. And a good start for the #1 seeds. 3 points from the set.
15 love. $30 love. $40 love.
Now 3 points to force a match tiebreak. The wheelchair quad doubles championship. Oh, and he had it lined up. Did Dylan Alcott? He knew
40-15.
that Sam Schroder was going to go for that angle. We've seen it many times off the backhand wing.
He was sitting on it, yep, and that's you know, after having played enough now, set deep into the second, he was definitely paying attention.
Second set. Alcott, Lapthorne.
Touch.
6 games to 4. 1 set all.
So here we go.
Following the set break, a 10-point match tiebreak will be played to decide the match. Match tiebreak. Wagner to serve.
Schroder just to get it back in the board.
Yeah, but that's a great sign for Alcott. Lapthorne, if any Lapthorne stays on that kind of swing, that's probably the best swing we've seen from him today.
Yeah, and I called his singles match earlier today, and I might include the singles match we saw.
If he's able to maintain that confidence of a swing throughout the
2-0.
this
Alcott, Lapthorne.
tiebreaker, they will be in good shape. And Dylan does his job with a big serve there to get an easy one. 2-0 lead.
Dylan Alcott won all 4 Grand Slams and doubles. Had a chance here at the Open to complete the double Grand Slam in the calendar year. Lost the final.
And lost bad.
1-0.
I mean, I don't know that there is anybody who follows the wheelchair tennis in the quad division that can even explain how that could have possibly happened last year based on what he was doing at every tournament, every Grand Slam, on his way to that final, and then that score. It boggles the mind how that happened. But is what it is, and all credit to Andy Lapthorne for taking advantage of a guy who was off on that given day. Himself another U.S. Open title. Yeah, I think he saw
2-all.
Alcott sneaking in and looking to wreak a little havoc in the middle. And, watch this, you see Dylan kind of pushing forward and also trying to pick something off here. Sam read it, you saw him peek and read it. Line's open. Nice job by the kid.
Alcott, Lapthorne.
Now, quick. Wagner to deploy the hands there.
Get one more push forward. Lefty, and it's the
4-2, Alcott, Lapthorne.
Produces the first error of that rally, and it's 4-2 to Alcott Lapthorne.
Not tight there by Sam, but just a little tentative. I think he's better off. I'm sure his coach will whisper in his ear.
Good job, Lapthorne. Great energy, brother.
Accelerate, accelerate. Keep swinging.
And Alcott's trying to implore Lapthorne to build on that. At least he wants him to keep up the energy.
Good position.
4-3, Alcott, Lapthorne.
Open this lead up, but stay tight. 4-3.
Just so well
done. 5-3, Alcott, Lapthorne.
By the team of Alcott and Lapthorne, and quite honestly also of Schroder and Wagner. But it was Alcott cutting that off and putting it away for a 5-3 lead.
Yeah, that's the speed of Alcott reading that high, deep ball. Probably going to get something in the back. And if he can get on his wheels, he can read it. If it's not there, he can swing back to Andy. It's a rack on it. Exactly what he did there.
Now 6-3, and credit to Lapthorne too, who's really cut down on the errors.
He has. You know, we talked about who were going to be what we knew going into the tiebreaker. The unknowns were probably going to be Schroder and Lapthorne. It's been so far Lapthorne that's stepped up. Kind of got back to his bread and butter, getting balls in play, pushing the chair, moving some stuff up, and then finish.
It's too much from the 20-year-old, and now
7-3.
Commanding lead.
Alcott,
3 points from the title. And a return to the winner's circle for Alcott and Lapthorne. Really nice pickup.
7-4.
Too much on it.
Alcott, Lapthorne.
Lead here, 7-4, but it's the beauty of a match tiebreak. It's a long way to 10. It's only points, but those points can come tough once a momentum swing happens.
That comfort can be fleeting. Big points here on the serve of Sam Schroder.
Alcott, Lapthorne.
And things are tightening up.
2 wild cards there. Schroder and Lapthorne both doing their job, looking really strong in that rally. Alcott trying to impose himself. It's a little over-aggressive.
Sam Schroder was definitely a retriever on that point.
Rock solid.
Yeah.
Yep.
The racket of Dylan Alcott. 3 points on the trot for Schroder and Wagner. From 3-7 down to now it's just a 1-point match.
Great job by Sam Schroder. 2 first serves under some tough circumstances there. Gives his team a good start to both his service points. Of the match, the longest rallies of the match, without question. Characteristic, unforced by Wagner there at the end. Ball that he normally would handle. Just got caught a little flat.
How much of it was the fact that so much was going away from him in that point.
For service.
Sam Schroder was doing so much retrieving. You know, Wagner's getting the ball coming at him at considerable pace.
Yeah, David's used to that. He knows, you know, that's his job, is to get, you know, oftentimes it's a one and done situation. His partner may have to hit 6, 8, 10 balls, and then he's one crack at it. He's supposed to do his job.
Lapthorne, 2 points from the title.
9-6. Alcott Lapthorne.
Didn't get a good read on the Lapthorne.
And now it is championship point for Dylan Alcott and Andy Lapthorne.
Wagner to serve. One.
9-7. Alcott Lapthorne.
Curious to see how aggressive Alcott is here in turn.
And that's 2 championship
9-8.
points saved. One
Alcott
more coming.
Lapthorne.
Alcott has a big serve. We'll see if he chooses to go with it now.
And he does.
Set and match. Alcott
Finishing in
Lapthorne.
style.
3-6,
The number 1
6-4,
seeds,
10-8.
the number 1 doubles team in the world, and the 2020 US Open Wheelchair Quad Doubles Champions, Dylan Alcott and Andy Lapthorne.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the USTA for having me play here. This is my first time at a Grand Slam, so it's amazing. Second of all, I want to thank David for playing with me. It was a great match for our first time, I think. Yeah, I want to thank Deloitte as well for being a huge sponsor of this tournament, and I hope to be back next year.
Sam pretty much said it all, so thank you, Sam, for playing with me. Congratulations to Dylan and Andy. Thank you, US Open, for hearing our voices and giving us an opportunity to showcase wheelchair tennis again here at the US Open. We truly appreciate that. And Deloitte, thank you guys as well. None of that would be possible without your generous support, so thank you all.
And now, David and Sam, it's time for you to pick up your finalist trophies. You could... Thank you both. And now we'd like to invite our champions up to the microphone to say a few words for the second year in a row, Andy Lapthorne and Dylan Alcott.
First of all, great match, Sam and David. I think that was a really high standard for quad tennis and a good advert for our game, so well done. Thanks to Dylan for playing with me again. It's always good fun and a good laugh to play with you, so thanks again. Thanks to all the sponsors, to Deloitte for supporting wheelchair tennis so much, to all the guys that have put this event on and gone through numerous Zoom calls at stupid times in the morning with all the players to make sure this goes ahead and we get the opportunity to come here and play. We can't thank you enough. We love being here, so thank you, and we'll see you next year.
Your 2020 US Open Quad Wheelchair Doubles champions, Dylan Alcott and Andy Lapthorne.